All right. So, first things first. Come on over here. So this is the motherboard. This is basically, we're going to put a lot of our parts on this. And so, and we'll just put it on top of the box because I know the box isn't going to conduct any static electricity, which is very bad which is what you do not want when you're handling computer parts. So, the first thing we're going to put on our motherboard is the memory. Basically, so this is our storage. This is what we're going to put like games, programs, whatever on. But this is basically what you use to, it's very fast memory. It's basically a very fast version of this, but it holds a lot less. So when the CPU, which is like the brain of the computer, needs something, then it can call on it through the RAM to immediately like get it. And so what we do for the memory is you see these two slots here. So you press these two clasps, right? And then it opens up. So you try the other one.
These ones?
Yep. Good. And then, oh yeah, so it's not, the notch isn't in the middle, right? You can see it's slightly on the left. So then you just want to put it in so that lines up. And then it takes quite a bit of force, but you just click it in until you hear the click on each side. So that one's good. Now you can try this one. Okay, go ahead. Careful. All right. Here. Put your hand like that. Did it click in? Okay, yeah, almost. But yeah, it takes quite a bit of force. But yeah, okay, so that's probably the easiest thing, so that's why we'll do that first. Okay, next we are going to put in our CPU. So this is basically the brain of the computer. It doesn't give you your picture. There are some CPUs that have like an integrate. Yeah, see this. I wish I had a knife instead. Oh, it's good enough. Some CPUs have what's called an integrated GPU. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna get a knife. So some CPUs have an integrated GPU or graphics processing unit, which gives you like your picture to your display, but those usually aren't very powerful, and so that's why we're using a dedicated graphics card, because you know this is a gaming computer. So yeah, this is the cooler, but we're not going to be using this because we have this water cooler. So we'll just set that aside for now. And here's the actual CPU. And so what you do with this is it goes in this socket right here. And so you take this little metal arm, put it straight up, and then on the CPU, in one of the corners, there's a gold triangle. Can you see that? So that lines up with the triangle on the socket, which is right here. So if you want to very gently, so find the, no, try to touch the back as little as possible. Just pick up like that, right? And so on the top,
this one?
well first,
right.
yeah, 1 second. So first let's check if there are any bent pins. Okay, no there's not. So yeah, it's right there. You can hold that again. And so you want to line that up with the triangle on the socket. You see that? Mm-hmm. So if you need to rotate it. Yep. And just move it around. Don't press on it. Move it around and it should fall into place. Move it a little bit to the right. Mm-hmm. There you go. Okay, so it just falls into place, and then you want to press that lever back down. So you press the lever back down. And then you tuck it under, you move it like out and then back in, right? Okay, perfect. So that's good for now. So we're going to take off these brackets because this is going to come with brackets that we're going to use. So I'll just unscrew this. Okay. And then the back plate might come on, yeah. So we'll see if this comes with one or if we need to use our own later. Okay, next we can install the SSD. Okay, so this is called an SSD or solid state drive. So there's also hard drives where it's like a spinning disc and there's a little arm that like, you kind of like know how a record player works. Yeah. It's basically like that. This is a solid state drive, so there's no moving parts. It's just all circuitry. And so this is where we're going to store games, programs, whatever, the, Windows. So we'll get this open. Does it come with a screw? Better. Come on. Is it really not come with a mounting screw? Well, I think the motherboard will have one. But first we need to take out these two screws. I think the screwdriver's... Yeah. Because we're going to install it under this little heat sink because they can get a little hot, so that's why there's this fan on top. Okay, good. The motherboard has a screw. Okay. So, I'll take out the screw first. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out this screw. And then I'll show you and then you can do it. What you do. So you want to take this, slot it in on this side. Okay, so it slots in right here. Yeah, it clicks into place. Alright, and then you just take this screw and use it to screw it down on that. You want to do that? Over here, I'll just... But there's also... Here, and then you can screw it in. So there's also SSDs that are like bigger than this, and then you put them somewhere else in the computer case and you run cables to them. But these ones are nice because you don't have to worry about any cables because it just installs directly on the motherboard. Here. Yeah, it doesn't have to be really tight or anything. Okay, that's good. And then we're just going to put the heatsink back on. Ideally, I should have gotten the mini screwdrivers there, but that's okay. 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 So this is our case. This is just, all it does is really hold all of our parts. And then it has some ports at the front, USB, audio, and the power button. It just has this case at least has these little ball joints, so it just pops on like that. And now we can get the inside. So let's get this up. So this just takes current from the wall and then, splits it into different, along different rails for the different components, and all these different cables connect to different parts. Oh, yeah, you can. Okay, good. That's nice. And the front panel. Just pop up. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. We'll put that there. Take out the bracket. Then take this out with 2 screws on the back. Here, those 2. You want to do those? Mm. And so then we are going to take the power supply and do like this, and then we're gonna take 4 screws and attach it that way. Okay, maybe I didn't need them. Maybe these screws aren't that small.
Nice.
Okay. And then I can take those screws from before and just put it back. If you're good, keep it. Yeah, I think we can install the motherboard. And so if you look in here, you see these 4 little pegs. Mm-hmm. So those are called standoffs, and they keep it like isolated from the rest of the case. So like, let's say you touch the case and you have some static electricity built up, right? And you shock the case. These standoffs keep it so that you're not going to transfer the shock to the motherboard and potentially damage something. So we're going to put that in. And then so back here is it's called our I/O shield. Input output shield. This is where all our USBs, audio, etc. are. And you do not want to over tighten these ones because you don't want to crush anything on the motherboard. Okay, this is a pain in the butt, but we're going to do it. You see this little circuit board right here? So that's the power button, the USB ports, the restart button, the headphone jack. And so each of these have a little cable coming off of them, right? Like you can see. So we just need to connect these cables to this at the bottom.
Is it lined up?
Yeah, it's lined up to me. Perfect. This is our, what is this? This is the reset switch and the power switch. Okay. Okay, I know this one for sure. This is the audio. Oh, so this is the audio. So that goes over here. Because if you look, there's one missing. And if do you see this white one right here? Do you see how one of them's missing in the same spot? So it's going to plug in there. This is honestly probably the most difficult part. Not like difficult, but it's just annoying because there's a lot of really small cables. Okay, that seems good. Okay, so there's an extra pin to the bottom right, so it's this one. Okay. Now I got it. Here we go. There we go. Okay, good. So the power supply has all these slots on the back, right? You can see those. And so we're just going to take some of these cables from this box and attach them to the motherboard. So if it's labeled PSU, that stands for power supply unit. So that means that end is going to plug into the power supply unit. So we're going to plug it in from here. Boop. Boop. Okay, that's in. This is called the 24 power pin. The 24 pin power connector. This just gives general power to a lot of stuff on the motherboard. So do you see this big? Can you see that? Okay. Then we need our 8 pin power connector, which is tucked away here. That gives power to the CPU specifically. So we need to find a cable that says CPU. Okay, this cable is gonna go up and around, and it's gonna plug in over here. So you might want to go the opposite side for this. Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna put 2 fans right here. So, because, electricity, when you put energy into something, that energy has to go somewhere, right? Like, cars, the energy gets converted into movement. But with computer parts, there are no moving parts. They're fans, but those don't really count. So all of this power just becomes heat, and that's why you have this huge metal heat sink, right? Because this card, for example, can draw like up to 250 watts of power, and it has to dissipate using these fans and the metal heat sink. And so you want to make the airflow inside of your case as good as you can, so that's why we have some extra fans here. So we'll need 2 for now. And one of the nice things about these ones, you can do what's called daisy chaining, where you see this connector. So you can like plug them into each other, and then you only need 1 cable to plug into your motherboard. Versus like 5, you know, which I couldn't do. Because this one only has like 2 fan headers. So we're gonna install them like this, right? Okay. Okay, now we can do the top. Same thing, pretty much. So air is going to come in through the bottom. And then the graphics card also has 2 fans, right? And so these fans push air up, and then the air is going to get exhausted out the top. That'll look better. And be easier to manage. Yeah, now I think we should put the graphics card in because our radiator is... Whoops! Our radiator... Can you get that one? I know what it is. Okay, our radiator is going to go right here. So I think once we put that on, it's going to be really hard to put the graphics card back in, so I think we're going to do that right now. Okay, let's put this bad boy back in. Yeah, just push down that big blob. Oh, okay. We're close. Oh, I don't want this. Oh, crap, there we go. Okay. Am I in the slot? Almost. Come on. Yes! Okay. Wait, it's like it was before. It's like in, but not really. And I forgot what I did to fix it. There we go. Okay. Whew. 1. You gotta do it. Keep pushing. Yeah, I'll hold it. Good. Now, the radiator. Just like, you know, people have radiators to heat their homes, this is a radiator to cool the CPU. So basically, what it does is you have, this is the radiator, and it's a series of channels that the water goes through. And then the fans blow on it to make it cold again, right? And there's 2 tubes. So one tube puts water on the block, and that makes the metal touching the CPU cold, right? And so, because the CPU gives off a lot of heat, just like how this graphics card has the big heat sink with the fans, that's what this is for the CPU, right? The little silver chip, basically. So this is one way to do it. Most people go with air cooling, which is like this, where it's just a heat sink with a fan on it, right? It's just a big chunk of metal. But the nice thing about water cooling is it's usually a little bit quieter because you can run the fans like slower, and it also, in my opinion, it looks cooler. But, and you usually get better temperatures on your CPU, and the cooler your CPU is, the faster it can run. So, yeah. Okay. Thermal paste. I've never seen people do like a line down the middle.
We gotta put the whole packet on.
Yeah, cool. Yes, I think I got it. So it's gonna go like that. Okay. But not like on it. Okay. And click.
Yay.
Finally.
Did it.
Okay. It is
Finished.
done.
Wow.
We will see if it turns on later. Hopefully it does.